Negotiating your salary is probably one of the most powerful things you can do during your career because it gets you into the habit of asking for what you want regardless of what the company or anybody says they can offer. Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Brittany Hayles and this is Hayles Consulting, a business dedicated to helping you gain clarity in your career. Today we're talking all about negotiating your salary after a job offer. There was a study done at the University of Messina that says due to lack of confidence in asking for a pay raise, a person can lose to up to $1.2 million. Yes, $1 million over a 40-year career. Now, of course, the amount of money is completely dependent on your job or your salary or how much money you make. But the whole point is that if you don't negotiate your salary at any point in your career, or if you don't ask for a raise at any point in your career, you're leaving so much money on the table, especially because the average person's career is 40 years long. And because I want you to be where the money resides all the time, I'm gonna be walking you through 5 proven tips on how to negotiate your salary in this video, so stay tuned. Before we even get started here, you know the drill. Go ahead and click that subscribe button down below. Also follow Hayles Consulting on Instagram for career tips every single day. Let's get started. So the first tip is to sell your value, not your expectations. In my video titled How to Ask for a Promotion, it's the same concept. When you walk into a room asking for anything that's going to require more money, more resources from a company, you need to sell the value as to why you need those resources or why you deserve more of those resources. At the end of the day, they are a business and 2 things are top of mind for them: profit and saving resources. So the best way to sell your value when you're negotiating your salary is to do those 2 things. Tell them how you being hired will save them money or save them resources. That is how you sell your value. So for example, I work on a creative team where we really value people with multi-disciplines. And what I mean by that is if you're a graphic designer, but you also are a video editor and you're also a writer and you can do like 4 different things, you are a huge asset to the team. Because not only can you edit a video, but let's say they're short-staffed and need a graphic designer, you can also do that as well. So they don't even have to hire an entirely new person to do that graphic design. They can hire you. They can give you the project instead. So if you have multi-disciplines and they're trying to pay you as if you only have one, all you have to do is present your value and say, hey, I have 3 different things that I'm an expert in. Pay me accordingly. Now, you're not gonna go in there and say it like that, but you get the point. You're letting them know that they are saving money and saving resources by hiring you. Therefore, you want to be compensated accordingly. So the second tip is to research salary expectations for the role and company. If you don't do this before you walk into a negotiation, forget about it. Don't even think about it. Now, when you're researching, you have to understand that most salary expectations are a range. And the internal side, the recruiting side, the HR side that you're gonna be negotiating with, they know what that range is. Now, where you find this data can be on salary.com, boom, Glassdoor, Indeed. There's so many different places. You can literally just type it into Google as well. But again, do not just look at 1, don't look at 2, don't look at 3. I would prefer for you to really find an average amongst 5 different sources. And something I do want to point out as well, a lot of industries are very niche. So I'd really want you to also find if there is a salary website for your specific industry, whether you're in tech like me or in healthcare or in education or in government. Try to find a website specifically dedicated to your niche industry, because sometimes those general databases like Glassdoor and LinkedIn and Indeed, they give ballpark numbers, but those niche down websites will actually be really great with finding a better, closer range to what your actually salary expectation may be. So the third tip is to aim high when you are negotiating your salary. And the reason why you want to aim high is because they're going to negotiate their way down to the middle or back to the end of your range. Now, a lot of people get scared to present that high number because they're like, oh man, they're gonna be like, yo, this person is a joke. But again, as I just said, a lot of companies are actually expecting you to come in and negotiate, but a lot of times we don't. And they can afford, like they wouldn't have a range if they couldn't afford it, right? Now, the most strategic way to bring a number into the room is to provide a range versus an actual dedicated number. And what you should come up with is an expected number. That expected number is what you actually believe in yourself you would feel comfortable with being paid for this role. Now, when you choose that expected number, within your range, your expected number is actually gonna be at the end of your range because again, psychologically, they don't wanna pay you more than they have to. And when I say the end of your range, the expected number is actually not gonna be in your range at all. Here's what I mean by that. Let's say your expected salary is $87,000 a year. The range you're gonna come into the room with is 89,000 to 95 or so thousand. The reason why is because you know in your head that you want 87K. They don't know that. That's what you know you want. It's because psychologically and as a company, again, they're trying to pay you the minimum amount possible. Some other tips when it comes to aiming high is to not provide whole numbers when you can avoid it. For whatever reason, saying numbers like 80K or 90K or 100K sound like you didn't actually do research. So choose numbers like 88K, 83K, 85K because it just seems a lot more legitimate. Now, the fourth tip is to plan a counteroffer for your negotiation. There's a reason why this video is called Tips and Not Guarantees. I think that a plan B or a plan C are absolutely necessary. Now, your plan A is that expected number that we talked about in the last tip, where it's like, this is what you are expecting, this is what you really, really want. Now, your plan B, in my opinion, is the absolute number. And what that represents is the absolute lowest number you would take for a salary in that position. And in my opinion, the absolute number and the expected number should not be a major difference. Maybe 10K difference at most. When you come into the room with the absolute number, that allows you to be less disappointed in them saying no to your expected number. Then you can continue to negotiate with confidence versus being completely thrown off that they don't want to give you the $100,000 that you believe you deserve. Now, plan C is where it is so important to understand your total compensation package entirely. A lot of jobs have bonuses, equity, gym memberships, childcare, so many different things that they're offering you to be an employee at their company. So your plan C could be one of those other things that have nothing to do with salary. Maybe you ask for a higher bonus, or you ask for more money toward your childcare subsidy, or you ask for a higher gym membership, or you ask for even more vacation time or things that you can negotiate. So try to really understand your compensation package so that you can come up with that plan C. The fifth tip is to remember that a negotiation is still a conversation. So sometimes what happens is that you got your research, you know your value, you know your worth, you know what number you want. And because you have so much confidence now, you walk into the conversation with arrogance. If you go in there with the, here's what attitude, like they're probably like, yo, pump the brakes, calm down, you're doing too much. But if you come in there having a conversation like you would on an everyday basis, that feels a lot more reasonable, and that person probably is gonna wanna work with you a little bit more. Practice that conversation with your family, friends, loved ones, somebody. The more you practice, the more comfortable it's gonna feel, so that when you go into that conversation, you feel confident and you're ready. As I said earlier in this video, there's absolutely no guarantee that they will say yes, but I can guarantee you that even asking will make you feel so much more confident, because again, if you don't ask, you don't receive majority of the time. So get into the habit of asking for what you want regardless of what a company says they can offer. As usual, thank you all so much for watching. Do not forget to comment down below any other topic you'd like me to discuss in the future. If you love these like money talks or salary talks, I can definitely make more videos like it, or even more specific, more niche if you want to talk about a certain industry or whatever it may be. I don't know. Comment down below what it is that you want to see. And if there is a specific tip that you'd like to provide more information on based off of your own experience, please do so. Like, we want to learn from you too. Share this video with everyone who you know would benefit from it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.